The Sentry. He's one of the most powerful heroes in Marvel, a golden god of light. But everyone's got their demons and every hero has their dark side. And for the Sentry, well, that couldn't be more true. The Void, one of the biggest sources of nightmare fuel in Marvel, and a monster hell-bent on destroying all the good that Sentry's ever done. But just how powerful is the Void, really? Well, today, that's what we're going to try and figure out. Years ago, there was a superhero whose name was hailed above all others. Known simply as the Sentry, he inspired Angel to greater heights, helped Spider-Man win a Pulitzer, was Reed Richards' best friend, was the only man who could calm down the Hulk. One day, however, the world forgot about his existence, himself included. So, who really was the Sentry? Well, Bob Reynolds was a man suffering from schizophrenia and used drugs to try and cope with his illness. At the same time, Bob happened to work for a professor who had been outsourced work on an amplified version of Captain America's super soldier serum. Drinking the serum intending to get high, Reynolds instead gained immense power, becoming the Sentry. However, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Bob's darker impulses soon took shape as a malevolent being known as the Void. And from there, an eternal conflict began, with Sentry striving to be the world's most powerful hero, all while stopping the Void from destroying everything. And though he would try again and again, Sentry can never completely vanquish his demons. While the Void is intrinsically linked to the Sentry, it's also been around for much longer than Robert Reynolds has been alive, being both seen as a servant of Null, the King in Black, or the biblical angel of death. Either way, when Sentry drank the drug that gave him his superpowers, the Void attached itself to him, has been around ever since. And being a dark manifestation of the Sentry, while the Void obviously has the same long list of Sentry's powers. Like for starters, well, the Void has the same level of insane superhuman strength as Sentry, to the point where not only has the Void been able to overpower Sentry and throw him around, the Void has overpowered the Hulk before too, threatened to break every single bone in Hulk's body. In fact, it was such a bad beat, the Hulk became forever terrified of the Void and refuses to fight against him, just cowering in fear instead. The Void also just seems to love ripping into things and destroying things, destroying all of Asgard by himself, destroying a planet-level force field from Invisible Woman and shaking the entire planet in the process, ripping open a hole in reality between the negative zone and the regular Marvel universe with his bare hands, probably most famously, ripping Ares, the god of war, clean in half. Yeah, the Void has shown off that he's got clear Team Buster level strength, as a whole group of heroes, including the likes of Gladiator, Captain Marvel, Quasar, and Beta Ray Bill, couldn't hold him down and knew that they were going to lose the fight. He's also insanely tough, to the point where he can completely no-sell attacks from Beta Ray Bill, or Thor. These two really don't get along. Or really all of the Avengers, all while they're magically amped up with the power of the Norn Stones. But the Void isn't indestructible, he isn't even unbeatable. In fact, he's actually been killed several different times. Thor has killed the Void before and thrown him into the sun, and Sentry's done the same thing, taken the Void and thrown it into the sun. The problem is, none of this is enough to keep the monster down. Each time the Void returned, managed to regenerate on the atomic level and come back every time. It's the same as the Sentry. even if the Void is actually injured or even killed, it's always going to come back no matter what. But probably the bigger thing isn't just how strong the Void is or how tough the Void is. It really is just how powerful the Void is, how many abilities the Void has, how it's straight up almost a cosmic level villain. For starters, the Void has some of the greatest telepathic powers in the entire Marvel universe. Not to make a lot of heroes on Earth relive millions of nightmares all at once. The Void has been able to overpower another guy with the same power as the Sentry. The Void's possessed Doctor Strange before and took over the mind of Emma Frost before, forcing her to stay in her diamond form so that she wasn't straight up killed. From there, the Void jumped over and took over Cyclops' mind, and it took the combined power of Professor X, Emma Frost, and Psylocke to save Scott's life, with Psylocke being an Omega-class telepath, and Emma Frost and Xavier were two of the most powerful psychic minds on the planet at the time. So yeah, I'd say the Void is a very powerful telepath. The Void also has some insane molecular manipulation powers, to the point where he can tear Loki apart on the molecular level or even warp reality in his very presence. He's also got the ability to control and manipulate energy, unleashing energy blasts that can range from hurting Thor and one-shotting Doctor Doom to legitimately tearing holes in space and the barriers between different dimensions. And while Sentry is able to manipulate light, the Void, he manipulates darkness. He can unleash darkness itself as a weapon, drowning cities and even the entire world in darkness and ruining everything inside. He's able to consume heroes into his darkness, even the Hulk, the Sentry, even whole Avengers teams, all of his darkness powers. The Void is able to straight up consume souls. Spider-Man called him a shadow beast who devours the hearts of men. And according to Doctor Strange, the Void isn't just the greatest danger the world has ever seen, but a universal threat. And that's very much so true, because not only has the Void been able to destroy all of Asgard before, but the Void was also able to overpower God of Magic, Doctor Strange, and Sorcerer Supreme, Loki. And while Loki is seriously powerful as the Sorcerer Supreme, it's really God of Magic Strange, where he has the power of Yggdrasil, the World Tree, and access to more magic and power than he's ever had before. So this would make this Doctor Strange the most powerful version of Doctor Strange. And I don't think I need to remind everyone that Doctor Strange has done some truly insane things throughout the years. Strange isn't just one of the most powerful heroes in Marvel, he's one of the most powerful beings, period. And this version of Doctor Strange is the most powerful version of them all. Then here comes the Void, overpowering Doctor Strange and the Sorcerer Supreme Loki all at the same time. And suddenly, this makes the Sentry overpowering Molecule Man become actually pretty consistent for the character, and puts Strange saying the Void is a true universal threat into perspective. He's definitely one of the most powerful villains in all of Marvel Comics.